Hey y'all, welcome to the Joy Route podcast. I'm Frankie. The Joy Route means live your best life as best you can. For me, that's living my life 1 mile, 1 minute, 1 cup of light roasted black coffee at a time. Welcome to the new subscribers. Welcome to the A1 since day one subscribers. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to get this. I hope this podcast today sounds good. I left my microphone in the van, and so I'm not going back out there to get it. So let's just see how we do. So today I want to talk about self-care for nomads. Self-care for nomads. Even if you're not a nomad, somebody living in a vehicle, a van, an RV, I think you'll find this podcast helpful. Today I attended a self-care event. They called it a sister soiree. And it was very small. I would say maybe just 50 people. So a group of ladies got together. One of them was my aunt. And they were told to pick two women who could really benefit from this self-help workshop. So my aunt picked me. I'm back in Ohio after coming off a 10-month road trip. And it's not easy when you've been traveling. You know how, like, if you were, y'all, some of y'all who listening, you're in a house, and to just get in a van. But when you're in a van and you get back in a house, it's kind of like the reverse thing happens. Not to mention, Ohio, it's not cold today, but Ohio is cold, and it just messes with my mood. I have seasonal depression. So my aunt picked me and her daughter, which is my cousin, of course. And this workshop was very nice. They started it out with a lady speaking. She did some breathing techniques, which was amazing. And she was a fiery speaker too. And then we painted plant holders. And they gave us like some seeds to plant it or whatever. And we had a lot of Easter colors because Easter is coming up. So a lot of people did some pretty amazing things with their plant. Then they passed around this infused water. It was like in this bag, and we each had we each had our own bottle of infused water. So that was really good because my aunt was one of the speakers, and she was talking about, you really want to, whatever you put in your body, what goes in comes out. So if garbage goes in, garbage comes out. If peace goes in, peace come out. So that was very helpful. We got a ton of gifts. I mean, we got gift bag after gift bag after gift bag. There was one lady who her birthday was today. And she said what she decided. She said usually her birthday is all about her. She does it really big on her birthday. She said, but this year she decided she wanted to give back, and she passes around these really nice gift bags. Also, I guess each lady, I don't know how they did it, but then they had food, and the food was really, really good. It was like a brunch food. So you had the quiche, and you had these something wrapped in lettuce. It was just amazing. So I'm sharing this with y'all because wherever you at right now at this particular moment, if you're at home and you've been at home too long, it's the winter time, right? It's still winter. Y'all might be experiencing warm weather, but it's still winter. And if you've been at home too long, or if you're in a van and if you've been on the road too long, you need to just stop. We throw that word around self-care. We throw it around we popping TikToks in our mouth, or we just throwing pennies in a wishing well, right? Self-care, self-care, self-care. We really throw it around, and everybody get the thing. Oh, we was crying. Some of us was crying, and some of us was healing. I want to this is important to tell y'all. So they had our pictures. My aunt had asked me to send her some pictures of me, and everybody that was there, that was invited, they had this wall, and they had our pictures along this wall, and it was on not a paper clip, but that clip, that washing clip. I can't even think what those things are called. And they gave us 3 strips of paper, and they asked us to write down some of the things that we wanted to release. And y'all do this. This is what I want to encourage you to do. So just 3 strips of paper. You can tear a paper in 3 strips or cut it in 3 strips. And they asked us to write down some things we want to release. And I wrote down stress, mess, and weight. So after we wrote down our three things, we all got in line and there was these bowls of water. And when you threw your paper into this bowl of water, it dissolved. It just dissolved. And after that, you took your picture off the string, off the where it was hanging, and it on top of each of our picture, they had it in a frame, and it said "I am." So the words "I am," and then they asked us to take our picture down once we threw the papers in the water and they dissolved, and we took our pictures down, and you had to put "I am," and you had to fill in something, and I put "I am joy route." I am joy route. Just mean living my life as best I can right now. And they didn't ask us to share what we wrote down. Because in sharing, your journey is a private journey if you want it to be. If you want to share, that's optional. But what I want to, I'm not going to I'm not going to have this go long, but what I want to leave you all, or maybe me, I talk so much. What I want to leave you all with is self-care. Don't just throw that around like we throwing pennies in a wishing well, like we throwing TikToks in a not TikToks, Tic Tacs. Some of y'all might not even know what Tic Tacs are. The reason why I say some of y'all might not know what Tic Tacs are, because I have a funny what do they call, lifesaver story. I was told lifesavers are old fashioned candy. I eat them like my blood sugar drops low, but I'll save that story for another day. But what I want to really conclude with is to say, don't treat self-care like we throwing pennies in a wishing well, or like we throwing some type of candy in our mouth. It's more than that, and it's more than just a slogan. Just like I always say, life is short, and it's more than just a cliche. We don't really think life is short, and we throw around that word self-care, what we want to do, who we gonna release. We people was in there crying, and what you don't want no more of in your life, no more of this, no more of that. But then you leave and you do what you've always done. My aunt said this is funny because she said she used to tell her kids that, and I thought that was interesting because I used to tell my sons that, and I used to say, if you always do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And you all have heard that. We didn't invent that saying, but if you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you've always gotten. I was reading this book, Atomic Habits, and I want to get it. I'm getting up, I'm moving. So if you hear some moving, I'm moving. This book, and I wrote it down. I printed out some paper and I wrote it in marker. And this book, Atomic Habits, it said, and yet it is likely that this time next year, you'll be doing the same thing rather than something better. I'm going to read that again. And yet, it is likely that this time next year, you'll be doing the same thing rather than something better. So that's what happens. It's just, here it is, y'all. We're in March, right? And so we say, oh, I'm going to do self-care at the beginning of the year. I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing that. And we're in March. And before you look up, it's going to be 2025. And yet it is likely that this time next year, you'll be doing the same thing rather than something better. You deserve self-care. You deserve it, whatever that means to you. And I know it's easy for me to throw around those two words as well. But I can say, when I was on that 10-month journey, one of the things, there are some things regarding self-care that I did really well. Like I was moving, I was out in nature moving. So that's one of the things that it's important to me to always be moving. I went to a little I don't even know what to call it, hug fest on the beach. We all danced. I was playing volleyball. I was jumping rope. And those are some of the things that I was doing. Self-care is moving to me. That's one of the things that self-care is to me, moving. So I'll leave you with this. I'm not going to say life is short, although y'all know life is short. But don't let self-care just be something you say. Actually do better. And whatever you do and however you do it, always, 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 always take the joy route.